With the star of all stars, Giacomo Agostini from Italy, riding MV machine number 1. The red and white colours of that MV shining out in that beautiful hot day of 35 degrees Celsius in Melbourne. And a real hot one for racing machines to be out in. Works mechanics from Italy wheeling up that MV Agusta to the starting line before the riders get underway for a one-lap warm-up. 18,000 revs on that rev counter, and that four-cylinder machine will be blasting away any moment. Kenny Blake, Australian champion, 10 times Australian champion, coming to the line to start his RG500cc four-cylinder Suzuki machine. Gianfranco Bonera from Italy, riding a Harley-Davidson 350cc model. Then the great Ago had his turn to warm up the machine, as the thousands of enthusiasts from all over Australia, many of them Agostini's own countrymen from Italy, and idolising the world champion. Television cameramen, radio, press, everyone was there at Laverton on this beautiful day in February 1976. Greg Johnson from Victoria, riding number 5 on another one of those RG500 Suzuki machines. Timekeepers and lap scorers at the ready before the riders get underway for their warm-up lap. Away in the warm-up lap to have his last look at the circuit before the big Australian TT, the 15-lap senior TT, gets underway. In the starters' hands now as race officials and timekeepers prepare. And the flag is down and away they go. It's Agostini, number 1, taking the lead at this early stage. At the first corner, but what's that rider behind? Hounding Agostini all the way up through the S-bends and finding out very shortly that you just can't keep in the same track as the world champion. That particular rider going right off through the S-bends and having to come back later in the field. The rest of the field hot on the tail of Agostini through the S-bends, with Australians and many New Zealand riders getting right up behind that flying MV Agusta of Giacomo Agostini. The lead soon changes with Stu Avant from New Zealand, 09, taking the lead and swooping away down that main straight at speeds of up to 180 miles an hour. Through the S-bends, it is still Stu Avant, and in comes Ken Blake and Greg Johnson, right behind the great Ago from Italy. Stu Avant swinging through into the back straight once again. But it was a short-lived taste of victory as far as Stu Avant was concerned. His machine seizing at halfway stage in the race, letting Agostini back into the lead once again. Bad luck for Stu and, of course, New Zealand. But Ken Blake and Greg Johnson, number 5, going through, upheld the Australian tradition, keeping right behind Agostini all the way. Agostini's machine sounding nicely at speeds of 180 and 190 miles an hour, and Ken Blake comes right up behind him. Ken Blake from Australia on the 500 four-cylinder Suzuki. Now it's Ken Blake that takes the lead, to the thrill of all Australian fans cheering him madly. Our Ken through the Laverton lead. The S-bend part of the circuit up towards the start-finish line is Kenny Blake, number 6, from Australia. Agostini, number 1, and Greg Johnson, number 5, right behind, riding for Victoria. Those terrific speeds down that back straight as the riders in blistering hot weather break fiercely for that hairpin at the end of that back straight. But it's Ken Blake's day all right. Ken Blake comes through for Victoria and, of course, Australia to add another Australian title to his long list. Now 11 times Australian champion following his senior TT win. And beating, of course, the world champion 15 times, Giacomo Agostini from Italy. Well-wishers from everywhere helped Ken Blake out of his hot leather seat at the finish, with congratulations from Ron Angel, his tuner, and of course his Australian sponsor, Jack Walters. Ken has the opportunity of enjoying a cold drink to cool down after that great win for the Australian Senior TT for 1976. Congratulations then come from Australian Prime Minister, and it's Giacomo Agostini who wipes his brow after that very hot race, being beaten by an Australian, the diminutive little Australian Kenny Blake, now 11 times Australian champion.
My sister lives in Italy.
What did you think of the circuit?
Yeah, not so bad. Yeah, not so bad.
Blake's passing manoeuvre. It was good, it didn't disturb it?
No. Oh, he ran very well.
But it's our own Ken who takes out the first prize, that beautiful